So you're around 20 years old. You might be slightly younger, you might be slightly older, but by law, you are now an adult. And you feel confident that now's the time to really get out and start to see the world in all its glory. And the world in all its glory is not the hustle and bustle of Ayia, Napa or Malia's Strip or Magaluf, because you've probably been there and done that. And now you want to move on from the boys' holidays and you want to broaden your horizons. And the thoughts start to creep in. The curiosity starts to take over, and something is drawing you to fly further distances, to experience new cultures and to travel the world rather than just the party islands that are close to you. But is it a good idea? Should you wait until you're older? And what do you need to be prepared for when you take that leap of faith and you step out into the big wide world? Well, today myself and the big dog Joshua Veste are going to share with you guys our tips, our advice, and along the way we're going to share some of our positive and sometimes slightly negative stories when flying the nest and getting out into the world.
So you mentioned it there, right? You're saying you've got to do it as much, well, travel as much as you can in your 20s. Why do you say, what's 20s about?
Well, the thing is, right, and it's weird because obviously we finished school. I was 15, you were 16 by law when you had to finish school, although you stayed in education and I didn't. And at that time, that meant that when I was 20, I'd been out of school for 5 years, mate. I had been in the real world for 5 years, whereas now you finish school at 18, so it's a little bit different, isn't it? But for me, that's when it's the perfect time, because before you know it, mate, work comes along, like you get a good job that's paying you well or whatever, misses. You end up getting a missus and you don't want to, you think you're going to be with them forever, but just because you got with them and you're with them a year and it's like, oh my God, but they never end up staying together. Trust me, none of them couples that I knew when they were younger stayed together. In some cases, one in the oven, you get that bird pregnant and then you're fucking stuck at home and you can't go anywhere. Or like just loads of other things, loads of other factors can get in the way. You were in good jobs early on, weren't you?
Yeah, I couldn't take any time off. Like, I would have loved to have gone travelling. I would have loved to have taken a year out. But for me, it was just like straight from uni, straight into work. And then that's it. Like, you've got 25 days a year to use up and you can only use 2 weeks at a time. So you're fucked. Yeah. You can't go and enjoy yourself. So, mate, when you were telling me stories that you went traveling, you went to all these far-flung places, I was so jealous of those stories because I never got to live that life. And it's actually funny, like, you almost get like sort of secondhand enjoyment out of some of those things, like some of the things you've told me. So, mate, why don't you tell me like your favourite sort of trip or the favourite moment when you were travelling at the time?
When we say travelling, like, not everyone needs to be, you know, travelling and doing 25 different countries. We just mean going away in general, really. Yeah. Like, I remember the first time I went away, I went to Ayia, Napa. I was 15 and my parents had to sign a waiver to say that I could fly alone, you know.
Were you nervous, like flying by yourself?
Nah, I was fucking bang up for it, mate. I was ready to go.
Fucking hell.
Hit the strip
15.
Straight away.
You did a few of those party islands, didn't you?
Yeah, Napa, Malia.
Yeah.
Into loads of these different places and that. But for me, traveling really, like, I actually went away with the intention to travel. I went to Thailand and I was going to do Southeast Asia. So on the hit list was Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, you know, all these different places. Bali, I wanted to go to. Literally, I just named about 6-7 places. I did 2. I did Thailand and I did Vietnam.
Did you save up for all of this, like when you were working? Like, how did you afford to go traveling when you were that young?
Well, mate, this is the thing, yeah. Like, I done Ibiza before I done Thailand. I went Ibiza once for, I think it was 12 nights I went for, something like that, right? I spent in 12 nights in Ibiza the same amount of money I spent in 4 months in Thailand.
Seriously?
On it, mate, Thailand, like, now, if you go to Thailand for the first time now, you'll be like, oh my God, this is so cheap. But if you went to Thailand now and you'd been 10 years ago, you'd be like, fuck me, it's basically everything's like the same price as it is back home now. Like, but back then it was very, very cheap. So per month, really, you needed for everything, all in, accommodation, everything like that, I'd say you get by easy on a grand a month.
And what were you doing? Were you in like hostels or like where
hospitals,
were you staying?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were in hospitals and hostels.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So started off, I think we flew. So I actually, and this is the thing, like one of the main concerns that people are having, this is why they'll never find a right time to go and travel, is the main thing is like no one wants to go on their own.
Yeah.
And it's quite rare, isn't it, that you'll find someone in the same situation as yourself.
So true, and ready to go for that period of time as well. Like you were talking about what 9 months, a year that you were. Thinking
I
about
thought I was going to be gone for a year.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. So
that's a long time to commit to not, going out working, going to uni, whatever you were going to do in with your life.
Yeah. But I was lucky that I had 3 of my pals that wanted to go on holidays to Thailand.
Wow.
So I'm like, right, okay, cool. Let's go to Thailand. Let's fly to Koh Samui, I think it was, Bangkok then Koh Samui or whatever. And I did 3 weeks of them in Koh Samui. But they were in a hotel. One of my pals was in like a hostel with me.
Yeah.
And the other 2 were in a hotel. And we were just in Koh Samui for like 3 weeks. Quite good experiences.
It's like a beachy kind of place, isn't it? Like very relaxed.
Yeah, out of all the islands, it's probably like, well, you got Phuket, but it's probably like the island where, like, if you was a family and you were going to go, you'd probably go Koh Samui.
Really?
I'd say, yeah. Isn't that
There's
quite a nice
parties
place?
there though, aren't there?
Oh, yeah, mate.
They're massive parties, full moon, that sort of thing.
Well, that's more Koh Phangan.
Oh, really?
And that's
Okay.
where I settled down in. But in the meantime, Koh Phi Phi, that's the party island in Thailand for me. That is the best of the best. And that's, do you remember when I told you the story about you had seen the bar online that you can box in?
Yes, yeah, which was crazy, by the way. So basically, I found this clip of these 2 geezers sipping a beer and then going to fight in a ring in the middle of a bar. There's loads of people all around it. I sent it to Joey and went, oh, fucking hell, mate. I bet you did one of these when you were in Thailand. And you went, yeah, the bar is called, what's the bar called?
I did 2 of them. Reggae bar, Koh Phi Phi. You get up and you fight, and it means you get all your drink for free all night.
Yeah.
So what they do is they get one person in a ring, and then they get him in the ring and they raise their hand and they start pointing at people in the crowd going, you fight him and whatever.
So this wasn't you. You were just sitting there having a beer. There was a geezer in the ring.
I'm sat there having a beer or 20, and there's a geezer in the ring. And to be fair, like I've showed you the video.
Yeah. This guy's a big guy.
He's a lump.
This guy's a
He's
huge
a lump.
guy.
But I'm sat there and whatever, and they're going round, and I was, like I was offended, mate, because they just went past me because they're thinking, oh, he's too short, he's not gonna whatever, and I'm like that, and they're like, you, and I'm like, yeah. Whatever. So I gone up there and the guy's like, I think he was like Swedish or something, but he was a big lump. He was he was big compared to me. He must have been, I reckon he's about 6 foot or something like that. Maybe more, maybe like 6'1".
He had a lot of weight on you as well, didn't he?
Big weight advantage. Yeah. But I said to him straight away, he was like, are you a fighter? And I was like, at this point I'd had 1 boxing match. I said, yeah, I've had a boxing match. Unbeaten, yeah. I said, I've had a boxing match. I said, are you a fighter? And he was like, yeah, I train Muay Thai, whatever. So I was like, all right, listen. I said, just go how you want to go, yeah? Like, just take it. You're
leading. He's going to lead and you're going to follow.
There you go.
Yeah.
You lead the dance.
Yeah,
you want to start break dancing, we'll break dancing. But if you just want to have a little mellow move around, then we'll do that. Do you know what I mean? And then we both get all our drink free all night. And
so how did it go?
Well, you can see on screen now how it went. It was fine. I just done a little bit of showboat and moving around. By the way, I'm heavily intoxicated at this point. Done the 3 rounds of him, and then we went out in the piss after.
Did you win?
Did I?
Did you win? Were you?
There's a bear shit in the woods, mate. Of course I fucking won.
We need to clarify. I know the answer. We need to clarify for these guys.
Of course I won. But yeah, PPE Island is like the island, mate. That's the one. So I was there. Then I went on to, I done a few places. I done Railay Beach, and there's a scene from James Bond where there's like a rock in the background. That was filmed on Railay Beach. Yeah. Koh Phi Phi, by the way, is just along from Koh Phi Phi. I canoed over there. Is where they filmed the beach, Leonardo DiCaprio movie.
A film, by
it's
the way.
like a cove on the coast of Koh Phi Phi.
Did they close that off for a period of time? Like you couldn't go there?
It became shark infested.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Wow. And think I'm out there like snorkeling and whatever. I didn't realise there was even sharks there. Yeah. And across from that bit is Monkey Island, and people were looking at me like I'm a nutter. I went over, you can see it on screen now, went over and I had a little bit of like banana on my arm and got the monkey up on my arm and stuff like that. And I probably ended up getting rabies or some sort of shit from that.
Get fucking bitten.
Yeah. But then I ended up going across to Koh Phangan, right?
Yeah.
This is the main thing I'd say about traveling on your own. Like, people are always like worried about it and whatnot, and it's like, oh, am I gonna meet people and stuff like that, mate? When my pals left me,
which was what, after 3 weeks, you said?
After 3 weeks,
yeah.
I've gone on a ferry to Koh Phangan, and I remember, right, my one of my best mates like was a guy that I met, like one of my best mates out there was a guy that I met on this boat on the way over. So it's like, and my mates had just left me, and I'll admit it, yeah, I was shitting myself. Like,
Were you?
yeah, my pal Ben come and he come to my room and he was like, oh mate, like there's no point me changing this money back up. There was well point him changing it back up. There was
really?
a fair bit of money there. Give me a
yeah.
few £100 or whatever. He was like, you just take that, whatever. He had a pair of trainers that he had like got messy, but they were like good ones for like rock climbing and stuff. He gave me them loads of stuff. He was a good lad.
He sorted you right out. I mean, the money helped.
The money did help.
Lost your
Yeah.
friends, but you had a bit of money, so
Yeah,
who
there
cares?
you go. But I'm on this ferry on the way over, and I've got chatting with this fella, Ross his name was, and
Not Geller.
No, not Ross Geller,
That's a
unfortunately.
shame. You would have really got on with Ross.
I love Ross Geller. I've got chatting with him, and we swapped Facebooks and whatever. And then I've got to my hostel, and I've stayed in the part of Koh Phi Phi where the full moon party is, right?
Here we go.
Hadrin,
Yeah.
right? I'm thinking, yeah, full moon party is going to be decent. I don't realise that full moon party happens once a month. Half moon party happens once a month. And the rest of the month, Hadrin is dead.
Oh, really?
Completely dead. So I've got to the hostel and I'm thinking, right, I'm going to go drop it in. It's all bunk beds, whatever. I've gone in there. I'm the only one in there. I'm the only one in there.
So
I'm
you were
just
shitting
like,
yourself?
For like a night or two, I'm in Hadrin and I'm like, oh, this is awful. This is an
Yeah.
experience. Maybe only one night.
Did you want to come home at that point? Did you have a thought?
No, I
about,
just
like,
wanted to move on somewhere
yeah.
else and do different things. And I knew that some of my old schoolmates were going out in a couple of months. So I thought like, oh, you know, see it out and I'll meet up with them,
Yeah.
whatever. I was going to meet them in Vietnam maybe or Thailand. And anyway, so I've got on the phone on Facebook and I'm texting him and he's like, mate, I'll come pick you up on my ped. Come to where we're staying, which is a place called Bantai, Thong Sala, right? I was there, and you know what I am? I'm a creature of habit, innit?
Yeah.
And I got there, and I just didn't leave, mate. So I had been hopping from island to island every week or so, or every 5 days. I ended up staying there for 2 months.
Why was it so good then? Why did you stay?
Because we just had our own little crew there. Like me, there was like 5 of us that were all there, yeah. And we just thought we ran the island, really. We were just like...
Which you kind of did, to be
out
fair.
around on our mopeds, doing magic mushrooms all the time. It was fucking
You got to
quality.
tell me a story. Why were you? How did you even get magic mushrooms when you were out there? Oh, you just knew
You
someone.
get magic mushrooms everywhere.
You were picking them. He was picking them off
So
the
I remember,
street.
yeah, there was like these 8 American girls, right?
Oh.
And yeah,
Oh,
there was
really?
these 8 American
Now
girls.
that's a party.
And there was me and my mate Dave, Big Dave, shout out, yeah, Dave from New York, us and these 8 American girls. And we're like, right, we're going to go get some shroom shakes, yeah? So we've gone to... I think it was Top Rock, the place is called.
Shakes?
Yeah, they're mushroom shakes. So like they're milkshakes, so they're mushrooms.
And they're blended
down
up
them.
and they're magic mushrooms.
And they're magic mushrooms,
Oh my
right?
God.
So anyway, the fellas come out. I'm like, yes, bro, we need 10 shroom shakes, yeah? And they're like, the girls are like, no, like we don't want to do a whole one. So I'm like, okay, me and David do a whole shroom shake each.
Yeah.
And then there's 8 of these girls, so 4 more, yeah? So we need whatever we need. Well, I can't do the maths. So anyway, we've done
6 is
that.
the answer.
He's bought out 2. He's gone, there's the first 2. And I'm like, yeah, we need them all. And he went, yeah, I've only got 1 blender. He was like, I'm going to make them now, bring them out 2 at a time. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I'm like, oh, should we all start having a sip? And the girls are like, we want you guys to do yours first, like whatever.
Oh,
so I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. So me and Dave, bosh, got the shroom shakes down us.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, right, we sat there and I'm like, fucking this fella's taking his time. And the Thai fella's come back out. He's gone, my friend, I've got no more. And I'm like, You've got no more. We've done ours.
I've just downed us.
Well, I've downed mine and
Yeah.
whatever. And he's gone, it's all right. He went, Amsterdam bar will have some and whatever. Now that's about, from where we were, that's about 10 minutes on the moped.
Yeah,
Right?
okay, right.
So I'm like, fuck, like, these girls want shroom shakes.
You need to get there quick.
We need to get there quick
Yeah.
because these shrooms are going to hit me pretty quick.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Bearing in mind, you just fucking downed the whole fucking shake of it.
Yeah, so I've got a girl on the back of my ped. Dave's got a girl on the back of his ped, and then they've all like got tuk-tuks up there and whatever. And I'm driving along, and I started coming up off the shrooms as I'm driving the moped along. Mate, we spoke about Mario Kart in an earlier podcast. It was Mario Kart. I was seeing little mushrooms popping up, little coins popping up, everything. And I remember the girl was like, Joey, are you all right? But I was driving fine. I was getting through it, but I wanted to stay quiet because I didn't want to make her nervous, like, and be like, no, I'm off my nut. Do you know what I mean? So driving along, she's like, Joey, you all right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Yeah. Got there, silent all the way. Got to the bit where you park your ped up at the bottom for Amsterdam bar. I've got off it. I looked at her. She went, you're fucked, aren't you? I went, I'm fucked. I was like, we need to get up there and get these shrooms in us. But either way, I stayed there. And do you know what, mate? I probably would have stayed there for ages. Like, I just loved it there.
Yeah. So what happened then? Why did you leave?
I had to leave because I had...
Why did you leave? You sounded like you had such a beautiful moment there.
So, do you know what, right? I've always been one of these people, if... I don't know why, right? But if a girl takes a liking to me, I'm like, I don't like it, right?
You always like the chase.
I like the chase. I like the chase. But then this girl, I remember there was some girl in our hostel and she like fell in love with me, right? I hadn't done anything, by the way, to lead her on or make her fall in love with me, just bantering about and whatever.
She's just like the look of you, Joey.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But I hadn't done anything. Anyway, then she started getting hot and heavy and trying to all the time be like, oh, Joey, shall we do this or whatever? She was Swedish. And I didn't have the heart to just be
she
like...
wasn't a twin, by the way.
Oh, no. I didn't have the heart to... No, she was Danish, actually.
Oh, okay,
I didn't have the
fine.
heart to be like, look, love, I ain't interested or whatever. And so I lied and said, I'm ill. I said, do you know what? I can't, I'm really ill. Yeah. And she's like, oh, okay, maybe tomorrow we could go snorkeling. And I'm like, nah, I'm going to be ill tomorrow. This is pretty bad, whatever. Mate, 6 a.m, she's knocking on the fucking door. I've got you some fruit. It might be good for... And I'm thinking, will you fuck
How lovely
off,
she... Like, you've literally sacked a girl off. She's been so lovely to you.
I didn't sack her off. I never sacked her on. I never done anything with her.
She loved you. She fell in love with you.
Yeah,
you were a good-looking lad. She fell in love with you. She was she'd never had a bit of, Epsom totty, had she?
It was baby reindeer vibes, I'm telling you, right? Okay,
she
so
wasn't
anyway,
that bad.
at this point, I'm like, right, this is getting an awkward living situation.
Okay.
She's living right opposite me. My pal Dave's gone home. A few of the boys have gone on to do visa runs and whatnot. And I'm like, I need to get out of here. So I've rung the boys up from school that I know are travelling at the same time. And I'm like, where are you now? And they're like, we're in Vietnam. So I'm like, right, okay, I'm going to come meet you. So anyway, I've done a runner at like 5 a.m. I've left the hostel. I've gone to get the ferry. I've got the ferry over to Koh Samui. And then I've flown to Vietnam, right?
You left the country to get away from this girl?
Yes, she was bringing me through. It was weird.
I can't believe you actually had to leave and get a flight. I thought you were going to say to me you're going to go down the road.
Mate, I would rather do a runner than have to break someone's heart and
She
be
didn't
honest
even
with them.
sound like she was that bad.
No, she was all right, but I wasn't interested, mate.
Oh, come on, mate. You could have... Maybe that could have been the one.
No, she weren't the one. Anyway, then I went to Vietnam, and we was in Vietnam. We went to this place called Castaway Island. If you're ever going to go travelling, if you're in Hanoi, which I think is Hanoi the capital of Vietnam?
Yes.
Right? All the hostels will be able to book for you to go to Castaway Island. It's a place called Ha Long Bay, right? It is the best thing you will ever do travelling, in my opinion. You go there, and you are shut off from the world. Your phone has no signal.
Oh, wow.
There's no TVs. There's no nothing. The whole thing is just a party, and you're in like a cove, right?
Okay.
They can only have, I think, about 300 people there at one time. And what they do, and it's class, they try and make sure like it's really evenly. So like the dates that you'll pick, like say for example, when I went and met the boys from school, there's like 8 of us boys, yeah, and whatever, and we're like, yeah, we want to go tomorrow, and they're like, boys, don't go tomorrow, and we're like, why? And they're like, it's about 80% boys there at the minute.
Oh,
but
for God's
if you go
sake.
on Tuesday, it's like a 50-50 split. So, you know what I mean?
You like those odds?
So, there you go. So it's
play
like
the
half
odds.
boys, half girls, whatever. Yeah. You go there, and, mate, it's like you're in the Big Brother house or something. But instead of being in the Big Brother house, you're outside on a beautiful little cove of an island. It's like the beach. It's like the movie The Beach.
Yeah, so true.
You're cut off from all society. There's nothing there. There was no TVs there, nothing like that. All you had was a DJ booth and that. Everyone getting on the piss. Shotguns. Do you remember shotguns?
No.
You stab a hole in the beer shotgun, and you just down the whole thing.
Fucking hell.
it's the
How many of
shotgun.
those did you do?
Hundreds. I was the
Hundreds.
shotgun king out there. But yeah, it was so good, man. So we went Vietnam. Then the plan was we were going to go back to Koh Phi Phi, where I told you about
Okay.
the boxing match. We were
Okay.
going to go there for
Were you
Christmas
not scared
Day.
that she'd still be there? You know, she'd follow
No,
you
she was in
around.
Koh Phangan.
Yeah, but do you not think she would have found you? I mean, she had you on Facebook.
She
so
probably could have done. She probably could have done.
So you
anyway,
went back regardless of that. You ready to go?
We were going to go to Koh Phi Phi for Christmas, right?
Okay.
But you can't just go to Koh Phi Phi from Vietnam because Koh Phi Phi is so small that the island of Koh Phi Phi doesn't even have cars, right?
Oh, wow, okay.
Everywhere's footpaths.
Yep.
There's one moped on the island, and that belongs to the police, yeah? How many policemen are there on the island?
1.
2. two
wow.
policemen, and
Wow.
they give each other a backie on their moped, right? Well, there was when I went there
Oh,
at least,
that
right?
sounds fun.
And Koh Phi Phi was before the tsunami. It wasn't like a party island, but because it is such a small island and it's almost like a strip, right? It was completely obliterated by the tsunami. So when they after the tsunami, when they're in the rebuilding process of Thailand, a lot of the places, even the islands, right? Like say, for example, Phuket, it was hit bad, but it wasn't to the point where it was unsalvageable or whatever. Koh Phi Phi was wiped out. So to start Koh Phi Phi back up, they built it into a party island, and that's how it became that. So what is it, tsunami? Christmas Day 2004 or something?
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Boxing Day 2004.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
pre that, it wasn't really like that. But you can look at, it'd be good to show an actual image now, an aerial image maybe of Koh Phi Phi pre-tsunami to now, and you'll see how much more built up it is
wow.
and stuff like that. So we were going to go there, but the first stop's Phuket, right? Well, we fly to Phuket, we get to Phuket, and this is pretty much where my travelling adventures end.
Why? What happened in Phuket?
God.
Is this a bad one?
This might put people off travelling.
Seriously?
Hmm.
Okay, so what happens? Where were you?
So, right,
does it
we're
work?
in Phuket. We've gone out first night. We've hit an Irish bar or something, and then we've gone to the White Rooms, which is like a club. It's like Phuket's Oceana or whatever. Anyway,
Must be good then.
it was fucking brilliant, mate. But it's got to like 11, so you can stay in there till like 3 in the morning, something like that. It's got to like 11, right? And I've run out of cash. Now, in Thailand, anyone that's been knows that when you withdraw cash, you're going to get charged about 16 quid. Yeah.
I didn't realise it was a flat fee.
Mate, you're going to get charged. Back then, it was about 16 quid. I don't know whether it's cheaper now.
Yeah.
I don't know whether contactless has changed things or whatever, because you got to remember, when I went, that was before contactless payment and stuff like that. So it's about 16 quid to withdraw. And that means that when you do withdraw, you withdraw your maximum amount. So I've walked out the White Rooms, gone to the closest cash point. I've waited in the line, got to the front of the cash point because there's a queue for it, right? And the weird thing is, in this country, you get cash out, yeah? What comes out first?
The receipt.
But your card.
Yeah, okay.
Your card comes out first.
Okay.
Cash comes out second.
Yes.
Yeah? Makes sense, because then you're not stood there with a load of cash in your hand waiting for your card.
Fair enough.
In Thailand, don't know whether they've changed it now, but when I was there, the cash came out first, the
Okay.
card comes out second.
Fair
Now,
enough.
if you're using a European card or something like that, sometimes it can take like a minute for the card to come out. So I'm smashed. I've been in the White Rooms. The boys are still in there. I'm out there on my own. I've withdrawn the maximum daily amount, which was like 250 quid, which God knows how many thousand baht that is, right? And I'm sort of there just lagging, whatever. Mate, someone's just run straight across the front of me. Bomb, took it out my hand.
Fuck.
And I'm frozen, right? I'm frozen. I'm like, oh my God. Everyone behind me is like, oh
Yeah.
my God, did you see that? Whatever. And I'm like, and then all of a sudden, my wits have kicked in. The card's come out. I've grabbed it. And the fella, because I haven't chased him, has run at first. I can see him in the distance. He's not even that far away, right? And now he's started walking. He's thought he's got away with it. I've caught the cunt up. I'm fucking sprinting after him, whatever. Me and him are having a roll. I've grabbed him. Me and him are having a roll around on the floor and all this.
Yeah.
And the Thai police, right, because they're patrolling. This is Patong Strip, yeah? They're like patrolling it. It's a main part of Phuket, like partying place. They've come and got stuck in, but they were all right. They were being fine with me. And I'm like, look, there is a whole load of people stood at that cash point. Everyone still stood there like watching that will vouch for me. I've done nothing wrong. I've just chased this fella that's tried to rob me. He's tried to rob me. He's got my money on him still now and whatever. And I'm like, all these people will vouch for me. And there's like, I remember there was like an Australian girl at the front of the thing and she was like, yeah, he just took his cash. He was just waiting and he took his cash and whatever.
Unbelievable accent.
And these police are saying to me, that's fine, like whatever, but you got to come with us. And I'm like, no, I'm not coming with you, whatever. They're like, it's fine. They said, report, paperwork. Now, by the way, I know that my hostel I'm staying at is near to the police station, right? And I know that where this police station is anyway, because I remember earlier on for the travel insurance, I lost something and I had to report it missing to be able to claim it back on the travel insurance, right? So I knew where the police station was. And I'm like, do you know what? Cut my losses, mate. Like, fucking
Night's
go
over.
back there. Night's over.
Yeah.
Go back there. Fill out this paperwork. Get my fucking money back. And I'll go back and get my head down because I'm smashed anyway. Like, I'm proper drunk, yeah? So, there's like three of them, I think. 2 jumped in the car with me. By the way, this was an unmarked car, yeah?
Okay.
And one's on a
Sounds bit
moped.
fishy, okay, right.
And we're getting towards the police station now, right? And I can see it, and I know the police station's there, and then there's a side road, and my hostel thing, it's up there, right? we've drove straight past the police station. So I'm like, that is the thing for me. The only time my nerve system kicked in, and I'm like, this is dodgy. That's the police station there, whatever. All of a sudden as well, they're being very cordial, very nice to me. Once we got in the car, silence, right?
Shit.
Listen, it gets so much worse, mate. So they've took me to what was like a, what would you even call it? I don't know. It weren't like a jail or anything. It was like a small building, probably the size of this room. Yeah. There's a bloke at a wooden desk smoking a fag and whatever, and then there's like a cell type thing.
Fucking
And straight away I've got in there and they've just tried to bribe me. They've just
asked for a bribe.
Asked for a bribe, sorry. Yeah. So they're saying that I need to give them what was the equivalent to, I think, about £400.
Oh, fuck. A lot of money.
Mate, I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
And they're like, you pay or you're in there? And I'm like, sweet. Because I'm thinking, fuck it, I'll sleep it off, whatever, you know.
Yeah, of
doesn't
course.
Doesn't matter to me. I'll go in there. And there's like a couple of Thai blokes in there, and there's one white fella. I never even heard him speak. To me, he looked like he might have been Danish or something. He was blonde, whatever. He just had his head down. A couple of Thai blokes in there and whatever, and the old bill there. So do you know, like when I'm just trying to stick to my guns here, and I'm like, nah, fuck it. I'm the fucking victim of a crime. I'm not doing it. Whatever. Put me in there. I'll sleep it off. I ain't paying you nothing. Whatever. Once I'm in there, then I start to decide, and it wasn't after long at all. It's pretty much as soon as I got in there, like I started to decide, like, do you know what? Fuck this.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind, I'm young, I'm drunk, I'm naive at this point in my life. Like, to be honest, I'm just an idiot at this point. And I went travelling, you know, like, that typical thing of, what are you running away from? It was that. Like, I was running away from stuff, you know what I mean? I'm going travelling, whatever. I've started kicking off now. Fucking let me out, whatever. Mate, the police come in, battered the shit out of me.
What?
Honestly.
Seriously?
Baton straight to the leg, bang, and then I've gone straight over in the fetal position. I'm just tucking up, trying to cover myself. Police just battered me, whatever. So
Are they
I'm
still
like,
asking for a bribe at this point?
no. Then that's when I've given in, and I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. Luckily, by this point, because I said it was about 11 o'clock at night, by this point, it's past midnight, and that means I can withdraw again. You don't have to wait 24 hours. It just has to be within the midnight section, so I can withdraw again. So I've gone to the cash point. They've took me, to the cash point round the corner. I've withdrawn my maximum allowance and given it to them, not enough. And I'm like, nah, and I'm thinking I ain't going back in there because now I'm actually scared. The alcohol's starting to wear off. I'm scared for my fucking safety here, my life here. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
I'm thinking I can't give them no more dough now. Like, oh mate, I was terrified. Like,
I mean, you could have been in prison for a substantial amount of time.
I wasn't really thinking about being in a prison, mate.
But fucking hell.
And I wasn't in a prison. I was in a little holding bit. And this is the thing, mate. I don't even know if they were police.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, unmarked car, past the police station to a random little thing, and like, looking back on it, that guy that took the money out of my hand.
Who was he? Was he involved?
Was he involved?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Is it like, you either get away with that amount of money, or better yet, they try to chase you, we nick them, we get even more money out of them? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. So anyway, I'm like, whatever. In the meantime, when I'm first talking to them on the strip, I've told them that I'm staying in this hostel. I've told them everything because I'm trusting them. They're being cool. Like, I've told them where I'm staying. I've told them I'm with my mates and whatever. So they know I'm with a group of mates. When I've given them the thing, they're like, nah, more, whatever. And I'm like, I ain't got no more, and I'm not going to have no more until 12 tonight. Like, what, whatever. Go back to your hostel, get us more. So they've driven me back there, and then the guy that was on the moped, he has stayed outside, right? Mate, by this point, but when I've sort of glossed over the beating, right?
Yeah.
They give me a bit of a beating.
Yeah.
It was mostly my legs, to be honest. Like,
Really?
they're just cracking my legs and police battens and whatever. And some of the things, man, I remember one of them said, like, English boys go missing all the time, mate. Like, well, he didn't say mate, but he said, mate. And he was saying, like, English boys die, no problem for me.
Seriously?
Or whatever, or you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Tourists die, no problem for me, whatever. And I remember thinking, fuck, like, whatever. I got this fella sat out the front on a moped. I went up to the room, and before I've gone to the room, I've belled up my pal James, and mate, I don't even care what I said. I just burst out into tears. I'm like, James. He's like, what? Like, whatever. He's like, what? By this point, it's early hours of the morning, so I don't know what time it would be back in the UK. But he's like, what? And I'm like, mate, I've just been fucking battered by the old Bill out here, like whatever. Fucking legend. James is just straight away. He's like, mate, where are you? So I'm in Phuket. He was like, how far are you from the airport? I said, 40 minutes in a cab. He said, go to the airport and get in your flight home. And I was like, I'm like 4 months into this travelling stint away and whatever. But at that point, there's nothing I wanted more than to just come home. So I let him book me it, got my stuff, went to the airport, went home. So I flew into Phuket airport, dropped my bags in at a hostel, went on a night out, got robbed and beat the shit out of by police, went back to the airport. This is all within probably a 10-hour period or something. Back to the airport, get on a flight, back to the UK.
And that was it. Did you go travelling after that? Did that put you off? Because that's a serious experience to go through.
Yeah.
I mean, were you like battered and bruised all the way through the flights? Like, what was going on? Like,
my legs were killing. My back on my shoulder, I remember being really hurting and whatnot. But no, it didn't put me off. And this is the thing, and this is why, like, I'm almost reluctant when telling this story, yeah, because Thailand's amazing. The Thai people are amazing. And I don't want to go too far into it, yeah, but like the life that I was living at the time and the person that I was at the time was someone that, let's say, for example, if I'd have been living in London for those 4 months and I'd have been going out and drinking as regularly and partying as regularly and stuff like that, mate, something bad would have happened to me.
Anywhere in the world, really.
Anywhere in the world.
You were wild. You were living life 100 miles an hour, weren't you?
And let's be honest, mate. Like, think about the scenario, yeah? Right, I'm not plastering over crime and saying it should happen, but crime happens where? Just in Thailand, is
everywhere.
It? Happens everywhere in the world. And if you're an idiot that's walked out of the nightclub smashed and you're drunk, stood there at the cash point, you're sort of like swaying, you're so drunk, and you've got a couple of thousand baht in your hand, like the maximum daily allowance, mate, people get robbed up in London all the time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I held nothing against the place. I went back there, absolutely loved it, but yeah, that was my only real experience. Like, never done Australia, nothing like that. Because obviously where you were in work, you've been to a lot of places, though, haven't you?
Yeah, I've travelled a lot, but I've never really had the sort of the lad experiences that you had. I never really went travelling. But yeah, mate, I've been all over the world. I have been to Australia. Australia is fucking brilliant. Had such a great time. I was there actually only for a couple of days because we were going on to go to Fiji, which was Fiji. I'm so lucky to have gone there,
Fiji,
mate.
Bali, these sort of places just look sick.
Yeah, honestly, like Fiji, like my favourite part of Fiji was that we went to, ironic for me in that I don't drink, but we went to a bar in the middle of the ocean. It's called Cloud 9. It might not be around anymore, by the way, because it's just mad. But the reason why it's there is because that is where they do all of the surfing competitions. There's this massive reef, huge waves. Like we're talking like 30-foot waves that you can sort of surf down. And so all of these cool guys and girls go out into the middle of the ocean. It's like literally like 2 miles away from the shoreline. And you literally just sit there and have a drink. I was so excited to go to this bar. We were looking forward to this. It was almost like one of the key reasons why we were really excited to go to Fiji, mate. Guess what?
What happened?
Got seasick.
Oh.
Because it's like bobbing all over the place.
Yeah.
So like I got properly seasick. So yeah, the first time I went there, just felt sick as a dog the whole time.
Do you know what I find really funny? Yeah, like obviously me and you is weird, isn't it? Like we're contrasting characters, but then we're so alike, right?
Yeah.
But when you were telling me, like, throughout all the time we've known each other, when you've been telling me about the places that you were going and the times that you were going there, fuck me, there is a difference between the places we were going, like, in comparison to, like, I'm going fucking, I don't know, Ibiza or whatever.
Yeah.
And at the same time as that, you're jet setting, mate. Where are you going at them times?
Well, to be fair, right, Ibiza is still pretty fucking expensive. I would say Ibiza is pretty much in the jet setting world, by the way. Like that's a serious trip. And you went for 12 days, which quite frankly, I know a lot of geezers now that couldn't afford like 3 or 4 days. In Ibiza.
I know a lot of geezers that wouldn't make it out alive after 12 days.
Yeah, exactly. How did you do it?
Probably shouldn't say on it.
There's a club, isn't there? I can't remember what it's called, but there's a club where there's a hotel like around it. Like you can get a room.
Harbrook.
Is that what it is?
Hvar. Yeah.
Like, mate, I always look at those hotel rooms and go, fucking hell, you're going to be up all night.
Well, I was in one of them sort of hotels. Jet set. Jet's the thingy thing.
Jet Set Hospitality, call you out.
Jet apartments, I stayed. It was a pretty party hotel.
Yeah, look, the experiences that I probably had were like either when we were first going off 18, 17, I was going away with my parents. I did the Fiji trip with my old man, and I say a word of advice for anyone, right, is don't just discount going away with your parents because it's going away with your parents. I have to say, right, it was me and my old man on this trip. We had 3 weeks away, and we had such like an amazing like bonding experience on this trip. It was one of the best sort of like holidays of my life, actually.
Can I jump in and what would be on my mind?
Go on then.
What if I put a bird? It's a bit awkward to say, Mum, can you wait down in the lobby for 15 minutes while I take this bit of crumpet up there? Well, actually, it won't take me 15 minutes, probably 3-4 minutes.
You've got to remember, Underwood Senior was absolutely cool with that.
Yeah.
Underwood Senior probably would have helped. You know,
Okay.
He's a smooth operator.
He is a smooth operator. Your dad. He is a smooth
So
operator.
yeah, like I was going on like work trips to LA. I went on a work trip to Vegas. I had my 28th birthday in Vegas on a work trip.
What year would that have been?
That was, I think, I can't even remember now. 4 years ago. So 2020.
Yeah.
Just turned 2020.
So that's when I'd have been in Thailand, 2020.
Really?
Yeah.
So you went back?
Yeah, I went back. Yeah.
But after all of that,
Yeah.
that didn't put you off. Like obviously the people, the experience, the places was like far more than just that one.
Yeah, and obviously I was missing the lady boys, to be honest.
Have you come across a few?
I've come over a few.
But wait a second.
Nah.
No.
Well, come across them, yeah. Of course, you can tell them a mile off, mate. Listen, Thai men are short, yeah. Thai women are even shorter.
Yeah.
So when you get some lady boy, like, and usually they're the ones that have had the work done and whatnot. But if they're tall, there's a bit of a giveaway. Then just do two things: look at the neck. If there's an Adam's apple, that's a man, and if the hands are large, that's a man. But here's the key thing about lady boys and let's call them brasses for the sake of YouTube. You know what a brass is. Working girl in Thailand.
You don't need to explain it.
Here's the key thing about them, yeah. If you're young, if you're our age, yeah, if you're like me or you and you go out to Thailand and you think that these brasses are going to be all over you, mate, they will. If you walk into a bar and that bar's dry and there's no one in there, yeah, they come over. You want to play Connect 4 and all this sort of stuff and whatever. Do you want to buy me?
I'm going to go for the red ones.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you want to buy me a drink, like whatever? And they'll do that. And then all of a sudden, the oldest, grubbiest, greyest, fattest geezer walks in, yeah? The bloke where you'd look at him and you go, life really has not treated you well, mate, has it? Yeah, he's not a shagger like us, right? No. Those working girls will drop you like a sack of shit, all 8 of them, away from you, fuck the Connect 4, they're straight on him. Because they know the game, they understand, yeah? You're a young bloke, you can go out and get elsewhere, and you're not going to take them back, you don't even own a property, you're not going to take them back and get them a visa and get them a nice life over in the UK, so they'll drop you like a sack of shit as soon as anyone walks in there anyway. So the brasses and that, they're not really interested in the young men in Thailand. But either way, right, you've just named a few there for me. You said Vegas...
Yeah.
LA. Yeah. What I'm thinking is, it's a bit far, isn't it, mate? Have you not been to anywhere a little bit closer that you could recommend?
What about Marbella? Is that close enough for you?
Close
Is
up,
that reasonable enough?
Yep.
I've done that. Porto Banús. That is that's a proper night out. You've got to have a fair amount of money if you want to go there. We're talking yachts. We're talking Ferraris. We're talking walking down the strip. I went there. Had a good few nights out there. But do you know what? Came back with a lot emptier bank account. Had a lot emptier bank account than that. But that was fun. Marbella's beautiful.
I've got to jump in here. Marbella, brilliant. But Josh, you've just named, again, they're shorter in distance, but they're still fucking really expensive.
Yeah, but you know, Marbella's fun.
Yeah, it's fun, but there's going to be people that are watching this that haven't got that sort of dough wrapped around them. So
Okay,
I'm going to tell you, yeah, Tenerife, yeah? You've been Tenerife, I've been Tenerife. Portugal, I'm going to hit you with it, mate. Benidorm.
What?
Benidorm.
The only thing I know about Benidorm is the show.
And the elite one, if you can fly tenors to Benners, then you're really having it, right?
But wait a second, Benidorm, when I think of it, I think probably slightly older crowds. I think, you know, sitting in socks and sandals, drinking a beer in the middle of the day. I don't think party place.
Mate, Benidorm's the fucking bollocks.
Really?
It's the bollocks. I went there on my brother's stag. Yeah, my sister's husband, but he's my brother, right? So I went there on his stag, and me and my pal Frank went there, right? And I was kind of thinking, same thing. I'd never been. I'm thinking of the show and whatever, and I'm like, oh, Benidorm, like it's gonna be a shithole. It was a shithole. But it was my shithole.
Yeah, it was a good
It was so far up my street. Honestly, it was unbelievable. None of the places, none of the bars, they stay open till like 4 a.m, whatever. If you're gonna do a stag do, go to Benidorm. It's so cheap. It's ridiculous. Nice weather, hot all year round. Everything's cheap. Oh, it's brilliant,
Fucking
mate.
hell, that's actually
I don't
pretty
know
good
whether
piece of
you would
advice.
like it or not, but Benidorm was good. And the best thing about it, people are this helpful, right? Our pal Cheesy, but you know these people come up to you in the bars and they're like, oh, we'll take a photo of you and get you put on a key ring or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So there's 15 of us on this stag, right? Cheesy's had the photo put on a key ring that he's got put on his keys, yeah? He lost us one night in Benidorm. He's going round Benidorm going, has anyone seen my mates? And he's showing them this key ring, but this
How
key
did
ring
you all
has
fit in
this,
there?
This is what I'm saying. We're all so small, so small. So he's walking around going, has anyone seen my mates? Has anyone seen my mates? He's showing them the key ring, yeah? Fucking someone's gone to him. Yeah, mate. Yeah. They're over in Sticky Vicky's over there. He's rocked up, found us, and we asked him. We were like, "How did you find us?" Whatever. Like, why don't you bell us? He goes, "I've got no battery." I said, "How did you find us?" Then just randomly walked past. He went, "No, I've been showing people the key ring." So he's like,
This is very in-betweeners, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah, it is. Have you never been to nowhere cheap like that then? Like, have you only done expensive places?
No. I've done cheap places as well. To be fair, I've done loads of them. I've been to Cyprus. I've been to Hvar.
What's
Have you heard of
Hvar?
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 Hvar is an island off the coast of Croatia. You fly into Split, which is what it's called, which is a bit like a big port town. You get the ferry over. Hvar was unbelievable, right? You can do... We had 3 of us there. Two of my mates came with me. And we did a night in a Airbnb for like 40 quid. So like literally like 13 quid each. You can stay in a very reasonable Airbnb. Like you're not going to be fucking, whining and dining with that kind of money, but it got you by, got a roof over your head. And then Hvar is like this weird like mix. Like it's quite like, it's almost a bit Port Banús in that it's a port area. But also, like, it's just, like, fun. There's bars, clubs. Like, you can have a laugh.
Crumpet?
Ooh, oh, yeah.
Plenty of crumpet?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what these lads want to know.
From all over. If you like Joey and you like a Dane, there'll be some Danes there for you.
I don't like a Dane. I like a Colombian.
Yeah. Well, there might be a few Latinas there as well. Nice. To be fair, there were a few Spaniards.
A few Latinas in my search history.
Aussie. Oh, God, yeah. There's a few in there. But Hvar was, honestly, so good. I think you can fly there for, like, 150 quid. It's reasonable.
I'll tell you where I have been to a lot of times, and... Mate, it would shock you how many times I've been there. Amsterdam, right? Have you been to Amsterdam?
I have, on a work trip. So, very different from your experience.
Work trip.
Yeah, I was there for 12 hours. I didn't stay overnight, for clarity.
You can get a lot done in 12 hours, mate.
I was meeting Heineken, so it was very different. I think overall, Joey, my trips were very different vibes.
Well, I went to Amsterdam 13 times, right? I had a little period, I was right stoner. And yeah... Amsterdam was always good fun. Walking around the red light. I would just be a browser, really. I wouldn't indulge.
Just a browser, Joey. Really?
Yeah.
You and Mario Kart out again, really?
Listen, I don't always go to the red light, but when I do, I browse.
I love how you've started out. He's completely doing you a disservice there. Oh yeah, just walk around. It's fun. Blah, blah,
Walk
blah.
around. If I fall over and happen to fall into one of them and happen to accidentally give them €50.
By the way, I've had some mates that have gone to let's describe this in a polite way, to some shows in those, and they say those shows are actually a little bit disappointing.
Well, they're weird, mate. They're weird because people are in a booth next to you tugging one out. Like, that's well weird. Do you know what I mean? I'm not 13 years old no more. I don't want to play soggy biscuit in a room with another man.
But when you were 13, that was completely cool.
Yeah. Of course it was. You should come first. You ain't got to eat it.
Oh!
But again, Dan was one that was very heavily based around doing magic mushrooms. Okay. I remember I got there with a few of the boys I went to school with, right? And they weren't as like... They didn't start doing... like mushrooms and stuff like that as young as I had, so it was all their first time, whereas I've been doing them a few years. And we've got into the Airbnb thing, and I'm looking around, and the front room, nice and spacious. I went, right, get every mattress off of every bed, because they said we want to do shrooms today. I said, okay, cool. I said, get every mattress off every bed and cover the floor in mattresses, right? And then bring all the sofas in here, whatever. They're like, what are you going on about? I said, you want to do mushrooms, don't you? And they're like...
Why are we doing that with mattresses?
Because you need to make a shroom pit, right? Trust me.
What is a shroom pit?
You watch anyone in the comments now that's done mushrooms. You can't just do mushrooms and just be like in a
Walkabout.
You need a shroom pit, right?
You need to what? Do you need to recline? Do you need
Almost
to lie
A
down?
shroom dungeon. Yeah.
Dungeon.
Right?
I don't think you want to go to a dungeon.
So anyway,
Joey.
I convinced. They're like, no, Joey, as if whatever. I'm like, boys, take my lead on this. Trust me. We need to make a shroom pit, right? So we've got all the mattresses on the ground, whatever. We've got on the shrooms. Mate, everyone was so happy we made this shroom pit. It was brilliant. But mushrooms are a weird drug, man. Like I'd never say never to anything again, but I don't really think I'd take any sort of drug again now. No. Like, you know what I mean?
You're far too sort of well behaved now, Joey. You don't even drink.
The thing
You're
is,
actually a bit boring. Ever since I came into your life, you've sort of become really dull.
Right, that's not the truth. You've seen me hammered a few times, but the regularity of me going and getting hammered now is nowhere near as much as it used
now
to
you're
be.
just on rooftops in LA, you know, just sunning it up.
But to be fair, when we was on that rooftop, I was hammered.
You were.
What happened on the rooftop with the American girls?
Well, first of all, we saw a car crash, but we were on top of a roof, so we weren't really involved. Just to let you know, we were completely safe. But Joey, the first thing he says is, "Man, I love car crashes."
No, so right. Listen, I've got a missus and she'll be watching this. I'm showing off, going to Josh. Oh yeah, mate, I can still pull birds. Yeah. I said these lot easy, and he went, go on then. So I've gone, all right. So they've gone over to look at this car crash, and I went, here, love. And she's like looked over. I went, what happened? She went, oh my God, there was a car crash.
No, there was a car wreck.
There was a car wreck. And I went, oh my God, I love car crashes. And
like the worst line in history. Do not take any advice from this man.
They just looked at me like I was a complete weirdo. The British humour was lost on them. Yeah. So it doesn't matter because I've got. Why go for that when you got steak at home?
But then he went
I wasn't
on.
actually trying to flirt with him, by the way. I was trying to prove a point. He
wasn't.
Him.
But then he went. They went, are you British? And he went, yeah, I am. And he went, oh, we love Love Island. It's such a great show. And then he went, oh yeah, I was on that last year.
Mate, I've got a problem with lying about being on reality TV shows. Love Island. I love it. I was on it. You know that Nikki Drew who was on Boxed on Misfits? Yeah. I sat down at a press conference next to her, and I come up about singing. I went, what's he then? Like someone else that was on the Misfits card. And she went, oh, I think he's a singer, something like that. And I went, I do a bit of singing. And she went, do you? And I went, yeah. I said, you heard of the X Factor? She went, yeah. And I went, yeah. I said, I was on that.
You're
she
a compulsive liar, aren't you?
She went, no, you weren't. I went, yeah. Judges' houses.
Ooh.
She was like, yeah. So.
I think you would have made it.
I think I could have done, possibly.
Just to take it back, right, we were talking about Malia and Napa and those sort of places, right? And you were saying that you can't be above a certain age to go there.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't think it's I don't know, because kids grow up later now than, like, I was, mate, as I say, I grew up very young. So I went there when I was 15. I went Malia when I was 16. And then I've graduated on to Ibiza and whatnot. Maybe now it's acceptable to 18, 19. But if you're 20 plus, you can't go there.
20 is the boundary. Why is it 20?
I don't even think it's 20. Mate, listen, imagine this, yeah? If I went now, at the age I'm at, with the boys, to Malia, I would expect to just be put on a register for even thinking about booking a flight. I think I would turn up on Malia Strip and Chris Hansen would walk out and tell me to take a seat.
But wait a second, you've just said kids can't leave school now until 18, right? So they're stuck there.
Yeah.
Then you've got a load of kids that still go to uni now. They want to come out of uni, 21, probably go to Malia. 21's all right.
Mate, it's full of jailbait. They're all like 16 years old. You can't be going Malia at this sort of age.
Seriously?
No! Weird, mate. Weird. And there always was that one bloke that's like, yeah, I've been repping out here for years. Yeah, sell boat party tickets. It's like, bruv, you're 40. Grow up. Let it go, mate. Let it go.
So where you got to go then? When you're like 21 and above, where are you going instead then? Because apparently you can't go to the fun places. Apparently you can't have a laugh
there's
anymore.
Plenty of fun, mate. Tenerife.
Oh,
Go
okay.
to Tenerife. Playa de los Americas. Nothing bad ever happens there.
Okay. Really? Is there a story?
Jay Slater went missing there this year, didn't he?
I thought there was going to be something about you getting beaten up again.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, no.
You do the beatings up now.
The last time I was there, I went there with the boys, and by this point, the podcast had started to go just a little bit. It was like before I'd gotten the kickoff and stuff like that, but probably a matter of weeks before, to be fair. Oh. And yeah, it was like, because it's just sort. It was the night that West Ham played in their European final. I remember being out on the strip, and
I'd never seen that personally, mate. I don't even know what you're talking about.
What European final?
Yeah.
Not a real cup until Chelsea win it. But yeah, like it was that night, and I remember thinking like, oh, this is quite a few people know me here now and whatever. So, but yeah. Tenerife, definitely. You can still do Ibiza at this age. You're going Ibiza soon.
I've got a stag do. I've got to arrange it. I'm best man. I've got to do the whole. Yeah, I'm best man. I've got to arrange the whole fucking thing. We're booking actually the villa, 20-man villa. I've got to book.
That's gonna be sick.
It's gonna be a right laugh. I can't wait for that. I've never been.
They fancy an annoying idiot on YouTube jumping on.
I'm not gonna lie, Miles. If you're watching, it's Miles's stag. He absolutely fucking loves you, mate. So,
really?
And also, we've had 2 dropouts. So
I'll tell you what I'll do, right?
If you do want to call up.
If they want me, I'll do the best man speech.
Yeah, brilliant.
I'll get up there. I'll say, being the best man, thought it's only right that I prepared a few lines. I've sniffed both of mine. There's still one on the side in the toilet if you want it.
I've been, by the way, on this, that is a brilliant joke, and I would love to do this, but I've been banned from mentioning any drugs in the speech. I'm not allowed to do it.
Oh, mate, my best man speech that I give from my pal James, all of it was about drugs. I said he loves raving. He's in his element when he's there. Some could even say he's full of beans.
Yeah, there's there's one thing that I'm not allowed to talk about after everything that Miles has done, which is copious amounts, but the drug taking I'm not allowed to do. But I'm going to slip a few lines in.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. Right, people, we want your best traveling stories. And when I say traveling, remember, it doesn't have to be backpacking. It can be any sort of traveling. Listen, if you went to Amsterdam, you flew there. Amsterdam didn't come to you on the train. So tell us all about it and tell us your horror stories. And if you like the channel, please do us a massive favour. How hard are we working, Josh?
We're working really, really hard. All hours of the day and nights, and a little bit more than that, even on weekends. Come on, if you don't feel sorry enough to give us a like and a comment and a subscription, then what are you even doing? You're cruel. You're horrible people.
That was a right substitute. That was enough to be on Children in Need or saying Red Nose Day. That was,
mate, we're working that hard.
Yeah, that was
to
next
be honest
level.
with you.
But please drop a subscribe, like the video, share the video, hit the notifications bell. I don't know why I point up here. I'm just assuming it's up here somewhere.
Can you do both directions just in case?
It's going to be somewhere. It's going to be somewhere. Hit that. Make sure you're subscribed, and we will see you all in the next one.